Hi, welcome to Growing Dreams Homestead. I'm Dana, and today is Friday, March 29th. It is Good Friday, and today is the day that I will be planting my potatoes. So I have planted potatoes every Good Friday for the last several years and always had a great harvest. Last year we grew 150 pounds of potatoes. We put those up. I will pop up a picture of our boxes that we keep them in the basement. So our potato boxes are wooden crates that I have attached a thin, very fine metal mesh to the outside, and then I keep part of a cement block on top of it so, no critters can get in there. And then we layer our potatoes with layers of newspaper in between, and we keep those in the basement. And then whenever I need potatoes, I just go downstairs and grab a few from my basement grocery store for whatever I need. So the ones that have been in there all winter and we haven't used are now growing all these lovely roots, and they will be our seed potatoes for this year's potato patch. So I hope to plant most of these, if not all of them, and hopefully I'll get a big harvest. And I will be canning some this year as well, because I love having fresh potatoes to use, but it's also nice to have some canned. So yeah, we're gonna get started. So the first step is going to be digging some trenches to put these in. I do grow them in the ground here in the garden, which I started preparing this week, and get my trenches dug, and then we'll start putting potatoes in. All right, I'm going to start by digging a trench that's about 6 inches deep, and this is where my seed potatoes will be planted for this year's potato patch. All right, so I have 3 trenches dug here, and this will be one bed. I will probably have 4 altogether, and this is where our potatoes will be planted. I am in Indiana, and I am a zone 6A. Our last frost date is mid-May, and I plant potatoes this early every year without any issues. So the biggest thing is you need to get them in the ground. You need to make sure they're covered. You don't want your potatoes to be exposed to sunlight at all. So we will start by dropping some potatoes in these trenches and then getting them planted. So super exciting day. It really feels like spring and like the garden's going to come back to life soon. So very excited. Yeah, so let's go. All right, so some of these potatoes have some very long shoots coming off of them, and you can just drop those straight in the hole, or you can break them off if it makes you feel better. But we just place these in our trench, and then we will cover them over. Pretty simple. Okay, so here is a view of our potatoes. I have just laid them there in the trenches. As you can see, they have lots of crazy little shoots on them. That's fine. Potatoes want to grow, so obviously look at them. So you get these babies in the ground and get them covered up, and they will do amazing for you. Now you can buy seed potatoes at the store, like a farm store, that are actually labeled seed potatoes, or if you have potatoes in your kitchen that are starting to sprout like this, you can grow those too. No need to buy anything fancy. In here we have they're like a yellow potato and a redless soda, and yellows always do better than the reds, but I still plant the reds just because I like to have them. So next we will cover these over. I'm going to kind of settle these into the trenches. Yes, kitty, you are my helper. And then I will just kind of break up my soil and cover them over. Look at all those good worms in there. It looks wonderful. So I'm going to make sure I have them buried really well so that they are not exposed to sunlight. If your potatoes get exposed to sunlight, they will get green on them, and those parts actually have a toxic property to them. So you don't want to eat green potatoes. And so I'm going to keep them buried really nicely. And I will end up with 3 nice mounds right here. And like I said, I'm going to do 4 more beds like this. Each one of these rows is about 12 foot long, and they have about a dozen or so potatoes in each one. Each potato can make you, you know, anywhere from, just a couple to even maybe 5 more potatoes, maybe even more. So you can easily, this cat is making me crazy right now. Are you my helper? Huh? Are you my helper? So you can easily grow a lot of food. And if you've never grown potatoes, I definitely encourage you to do so. They're really easy. I mean, you plant them and you let them grow, and then they will die back midsummer-ish. All their foliage will kind of start to wither up and die back. And then you just go through and dig them up with a potato fork. And that is the funnest part. It's like finding buried treasure. I love digging up potatoes. It's one of my favorite things to harvest because you never know what you're going to find, how many potatoes you're going to get until you're actually digging them up. So it's a lot of fun. I will get these covered up and then we will move on to the next bed. There are lots of different ways to grow potatoes, and I'm just showing you the way that I do it. I also just plant my whole potato because, as you can see, I have a lot of seed potato. But say you don't. Say you bought one of those expensive little bags of seed potatoes at the farm store that only comes with like 6 or 7 potatoes. So what you can do is where there are multiple eyes, you can cut your potato in half, just making sure that each one has one of these eyes that are sprouting, and then you should be able to plant those 2 separately. So that'll give you a way to kind of stretch your potatoes. Here's another good example. This one actually has 3, so you could do that. I know some people let them scab over, which means let that surface of the cut dry out, but I've also seen videos of people planting huge fields of potatoes and they're just cutting them and chucking them in the holes. So that's kind of up to you. There's lots of methods where you hill your potatoes, adding more dirt to the mound as they grow. I don't really do that. I'm so busy in the garden, I don't spend a lot of time with these guys because I just plant them, forget them, and dig them up and have a huge harvest. There's also the roof scout method where you kind of place them on the ground and then cover them with straw. So lots of things to look into. I just wanted to show you what I do, what's been successful for me. Yeah, we've grown a lot of potatoes this way and feeds my family. So that's what I'm all about. Hopefully, I'll be able to film all the different steps of stuff in the garden this year. It does take a lot of time because you have to stop and, but I really want to show people how to grow food. With the way prices are in the grocery store, people need to be growing food at home, and with the amount of poison and things that's in everything in the grocery store, you need to be growing food at home. So follow along with me this summer. I'm going to finish planting up these beds. Super excited that spring is coming. Ended up doing 7 rows on each side. So, and then I still got a little bit of seed potatoes left. So I have a friend, I think I'm going to see if she needs some. Thanks for hanging out with me today while I planted some potatoes. I hope that your spring is off to an amazing start, and I'll see you soon. Bye.